This is Brother Clifton Raheem Bradley of the Underground Railroad television show. Kobe Bryant, you know what? It's a tribute to Kobe Bryant, who was, he was a heck of a man. And my grandfather, you know what? He used to take me fishing. And plus, my father, which died on this date, February 15th. Tomorrow's my birthday, which Muslims don't celebrate birthdays. That's my grandfather. Okay. That took me on a lot of fishing trips. And then my father, who taught me how to be a man and how to stand up for responsibility and don't look for excuses. But I'm guilty of not always following his advice. Okay. But today we're going to talk about cake, dessert. Some people got to have dessert. And these seats up here that you see that are empty, they represent you. If you want to come on the Underground Railroad, there's always a seat for you, but we got to sit down and talk about it. Okay? That's why the microphones are there. That's the purpose. Really is a mistake. But, anyway, introduce my co-hosts, and then we get to the guests. It's my co-host, Grady, Mr. Grady Davis, which was associated with my father, and I have great respect for him and Grady's notebook, but let me be quiet.
Thank you very much, Brother Bradley, for inviting me, and yes, I did know your father. I did work with him at the O'Hare Postal Facility, and he was truly a great man in my estimation.
Yeah, tell us about Grady's notebook.
Well, Grady's notebook is an offshoot from my experience in working with the godfather of black politics here in Chicago, Mr. Lou Palmer. And from Lou's notebook, I have developed Grady's notebook. It's not that I knew Lou on a totally personal basis. It's just that I respected the man for being dedicated to his community. So Grady's notebook is an offshoot from that, whereas I try to bring positive things into my show, and so far, so
in Dunbar High School, that's why we got somebody from the trades on there. To Dunbar High School, what you doing for?
I graduated from Dunbar in 1961, and we'll talk about that. And ironically, in talking about having somebody on talking about food, Dunbar had a culinary department where they developed students and teaching them how to cook, how to prepare food, the various spices, the various dishes, and everything else. So hopefully we can talk about that.
Look, I almost lick at my fingers. But, okay, but you know what I guess? She is Archie. She is a cake decorator and maker. If I'm leaving out something, introduce yourself. This is a live show, because she's going to demonstrate decorating a cake. Y'all can still call in and get a little tip. Tell us something about yourself. What made you decide? First, tell people what your name is.
Hello, my name is Carrie Cox.
Okay, tell us about yourself.
So I began baking probably when I was I was a little kid. My grandma used to let me play in the kitchen and mix ingredients together, even if they weren't supposed to go together. That was kind of like where my start was. But after a few years, I kind of took it seriously. My mom, she would have recipes and, would watch me while I do them. And I got just better and better as I got older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Grady.
How is it that you moved into the area of cake decorating? Primarily because coming from the old school, so many of our ancestors and people who came before us, especially coming from down south, they primarily dealt with the soul food. They wanted greens and string beans and things like this. But you have crossed over to the sweet side.
I would say my grandmother. My grandmother is from West Point, Mississippi.
Oh, really?
Yep, and I used to sit there and just watch her make everything. Tea cakes, sweet potato pies, pound cakes. So that's another area that I got started with, watching my grandma, and to this day, I still can do her recipes.
Well, you know what, I don't want to take you into another direction, but I have to ask this question. It just jumped into my head. Sweet potato pies?
Yes.
Real sweet potato pies?
Real sweet potato pies.
Real sweet potato pies.
Real sweet potato pies with the flaky, buttery homemade crust as well.
Okay, but as far as the cakes is concerned, you do pound and lemon
Yeah.
And one of the things
variety.
that I've seen when I find myself going into Sam's, they call it the sock-it-to-me cake. I don't know where that
Sock-it-to-me
name came from, but what's the difference between the sock-it-to-me cake and a lemon cake?
So the sock-it-to-me cake, I'm not really familiar with that one, but I do recall seeing one before. Doesn't it have like the white and the brown swirls in it?
Right.
I'm not sure if that's a mixture of chocolate and vanilla cake. I'm not really sure.
That might be a northern development.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Now let me tell everybody out there, this is a live show. So call in. See if I can read this. And y'all need some glasses. 312-738-1845. Grady, the ma'am is laughing because it's so big. I just did that. Okay. You know what? It's something that I have to know because he's always advocates on behalf of a trade school. What trade school did you go to, and is there any particular teachers that mentored you? Because that school may say, "Oh, she made it big time, little time." But what school did you go to?
I actually am self-taught. Yep, I'm self-taught.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, if that being the case, I hope you don't mind if we still coattail primarily because, as Brother Bradley says, I brag about Dunbar. I brag about Dunbar Vocational High School, and I came out in the 60s. Now, that may be a long time ago for some people, but they have at the present time a culinary group. Way back in the 60s, it was primarily, the emphasis was on the trades, and the emphasis on the trades right now, but I never thought about the culinary school. But you being self-taught, that's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
You hold my hand up. Incidentally, I have a major in culinary arts.
Oh, really?
Mr. Edgecombe over at Kennedy King and Dawson High School back in the day. That's why I went to Miss Williams. But I'm digressing. Go ahead, sister.
That's incredible. I would actually recommend someone go to culinary school. It was a bit difficult trying to teach myself how to do things, or the trial and error. That can get really hard.
Let me ask you something. When you got off into this, there's a young lady on YouTube. She started a business, and she said she didn't know how to sew. She said, you know what, she went to YouTube and looked at tutorial after tutorial after tutorial. Did you utilize YouTube to help advance your knowledge like the lady did that had the sewing business?
I definitely did. I would sit up there with my laptop and have my little cake stand and the cakes and, just try to do it as they're doing it on the video. And that really, really helped me.
Yeah. I gotta tell y'all something. I gotta tell them something, man. Before I get in trouble, my wife is back there, and thank God, because you know what, I got most of what I got because of my wife. Yeah, but I'm gonna add that because I didn't want to get jumped on when I got home. Okay, go ahead. And have Mr. Brian out there. But go ahead, brother.
I do understand. Well, now, since you're self-taught, who did you have for your tasters?
My mother. And all of my family, I have 2 siblings. I have an older sister and a younger brother. They're my taste testers. And once again, my grandma. I'd be like, Grandma, does this taste like yours? And she'll tell me, add a little more sugar or add a little more butter, or that tastes like mine. So those people definitely helped me.
Bam, I got a big question. Can we be testers today?
You all surely can. I bought some goodies for you all.
I gotta take the little pieces. I'm on a diabetic borderline. What about for diabetics? What type of cakes can you make for them?
So they do have some sugar alternatives, like you can do agave or honey. Sometimes even sweet and low. I'm not really a fan of that one, but I have used it. I've replaced the sugar in pound cakes and pies with the sweet and low.
Okay, and you now know what? You're going to this is a live show. Damn, they must be enjoying the show, Grady. That's why they ain't calling.
That's good.
You know
That's
what?
good.
She's going to demonstrate how to decorate a cake.
Yes.
But the thing is, she's still going to take telephone calls. She told me she can multitask. So you can demonstrate to us how to make a cake.
Awesome. Okay.
You knew you was coming, so you baked us a cake. You gonna bake us a
did.
cake.
So if nothing else, it smells terrific.
Thank you.
It truly smells terrific.
Thank you.
If it tastes as good as it smells, we've hit a home run.
Can me and Grady come over there and watch?
You all surely can.
We can?
Yep.
All right.
And if you want to help, you can as well.
No.
I'm still an expert.
Okay, awesome. So what I bought today, I bought the ingredients and supplies for a banana pudding cake. Yeah. So if you like banana pudding, it's really similar to that cake.
Let's start
Oh, it
this.
is?
If you like banana pudding, this cake is really similar to that.
You got 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay, cool. So I got my little apron on. And right here, these are just the 2 cake layers I have. This is my turntable. And I'm going to just start by putting a little frosting on here. This kind of like helps the cake stick and everything. And then we're going to put the first layer on. These just came out of the oven. That's probably why you can smell them so good.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Man, teach us that in trade school. I wouldn't have the best class.
Yep, so that's the first layer. And then we're going to pop some frosting in between that. Yeah.
She's going to do this faster than 10 minutes, Grady.
Now, normally when
really
it comes
quick
to
for you
sweets, I'm very selfish.
Really?
I am very, very selfish.
And why is that so? You
Because
can't
I'm
be...
greedy.
Oh, okay. I get it.
I'm truly greedy. A friend of mine made me a
I totally understand that.
cake. I took the cake to the car
That's a banana.
and hid it
Oh
because
my.
I did not want to share it.
Oh gosh.
And I know that was selfish, but at least I'm honest.
Always like, can I sneak a cookie?
You surely
No,
can.
not with no gloves on.
You surely
You got to
can.
sneak one.
Yep. We won't tell anyone.
Can't tell them, but there's millions of people looking at us.
We won't tell anyone. You're fine. Whoops,
Now,
we lost a banana there.
You spread the bananas on top.
Yes, on top of the cake.
Oh, the bananas
In the
separate the
middle
layers.
piece. Yeah. So there's some fresh bananas in here with that frosting.
Is bananas high in sugar?
I'm not really sure.
Okay. But I love bananas.
I know they got some good potassium.
Well, yeah, the good.
Not sure about the
Gotta
other.
call her. Go ahead. Come on, call her. Go ahead, call
Oh,
her. Beat the
awesome.
drums,
We've
'cause
got
she
a
can
caller in
multitask.
today. Hello, how are you?
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
I'm pretty good, thank you.
I just want to admire you for what you're doing.
Oh,
That's
thank
very inspiring to other young people.
Oh.
But I'm curious, do you make children's birthday cakes?
Yes. I have a large variety. I go from children's birthday cakes to wedding cakes, bridal shower cakes, and pretty much anything you can think of.
Oh, okay. I just want to know because it looks so good already.
Oh, thank you so much.
Well, since you brought that up about
want to
birthday,
encourage you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to add the
Well,
second
Mr.
layer.
Bradley, I heard your birthday's tomorrow. So
Oh.
maybe that's your birthday cake.
Really?
Thank you. But you
Is that
you
so?
But you know Muslims don't celebrate birthday. But thank you.
Right, well,
Is that
Have a beautiful
so?
evening. Thank you.
thanks for the call.
I'm not
What a
gonna say they don't
blessing.
celebrate it. I'm gonna say if you're not at the developmental stage, you
Okay.
don't celebrate birthdays.
Okay. So
Now,
now,
let me expand it. Not just birthdays. You do anniversaries.
yeah, anniversaries,
Weddings.
quinceañeras, all types.
Now, one of the things that has fascinated me about cakes and decorating, I've seen the cakes with pictures on them.
Yeah, those are really cool. I have a lot of orders for those.
You put pictures on cakes too?
Yep, and it's actually an edible. It should be an edible
Yeah,
photo. There's a printer.
You say edible or edible?
Edible.
Oh,
Edible.
I'm sorry.
Yep, there's an edible printer, and that printer, the ink is edible, the
Oh,
paper is edible. Yes, it's really, really cool. Technology is amazing. And the entire cake you can just devour.
Let me ask you something. Before you put the frosting on it, shouldn't the cake? I'm trying to remember from culinary arts school. It should be kind of frozen like before.
Yeah,
You put the,
Oh, really?
God, that one
Or a
ain't
little
on the
bit
test.
cool, yep. It's always better if it's a little cool. That always helps it a lot. Yep.
I'm sure to brag.
Now, I just got to brainstorm. When you finish decorating the cake, Can I snatch it and run out to the car?
You surely can. This is my gift to you all. This cake is my gift to you all. It's my thank you so much for having me here today.
Well, all I can say is that, Bradley, we have to get the bigger slices.
Well, see, I'm on the borderline of being diabetic. So see, if those that are diabetic, watch your sugar intake. But you see, there are cakes, sugars out there that diabetics can eat. What did you say? Something?
Yeah, so you got the sweet and low, and then there's so many natural sugars. What? Yep, you've got agave, and do you know of any natural sugars? Natural sweeteners?
Excuse me for a second, y'all. This is a live show. You can call in. The telephone number is 312-738-1845. I'm sorry, y'all.
Oh, good time.
Keep my mouth shut.
Good time.
But they've got so many different natural sugars out there to, replace that. It might not taste exactly like sugar, but it gets really close and does the job. Wow. A lot of fruits have that too.
Let me ask you something. Your mother, what did I heard you mention your mother.
Yes, my mom.
I mean your grandmother. What role did your mother play?
My mom, she's a baker as well.
What?
Yep, my mom actually got my business started.
What's her name?
Her name is
What's
Camellia.
your grandmother's name?
My grandmother's name is Dorothy, and my mom's name is Camellia.
You had left their name out because you know what, they might see this one. Okay.
They should definitely be watching. They're so happy and excited for the. So now I'm just gonna place these cookies on here. Do you guys cook or do any baking at home?
Other than breakfast, no.
What?
You know what?
My
Cooking
grits
is
and
so
eggs,
fun.
My grits and eggs is where I stop.
I cooked for 30 years. I don't even want to boil egg.
What? No cooking? That's so fun. So I'm just gonna add more cookies.
And besides your father, did your father play any type of role in helping you in our
My dad, he eats, and that's it.
What's his name?
His name is Donald
Okay.
Cox.
Thank you. Caller, we got a caller. Go ahead.